Hello, everyone. It's so lovely to be here today, and I'm so honored. This is my first ever conference, so I'm a bit nervous, but thank you. Everyone's been so lovely. I'm so happy to be here. For those of you whom I haven't yet had the pleasure of speaking with, my name is Waisanen, and I am an incoming doctoral student at the University of Glasgow. I'm hoping to partner with members of the Museums and Heritage Highland Network to conduct research into the role that women's volunteer and invisible labour plays in the cultural heritage sector in Scotland. I'm here today to gather feedback on my research proposal. My research aims to improve understandings of how women's volunteer and invisible labour assists regional museums in operating by and for their communities. My research questions are: what forms does unpaid labour take in the museum and cultural heritage sector? What are the lived experiences of female employees and volunteers of museums in the MHH network with regards to unpaid labour? And how does the unpaid labour provided by women impact regional museums' functional roles in their communities? On a global scale, 75% of unpaid labor is performed by women, a form of work which museums in Britain are becoming increasingly reliant upon. A recent survey of British heritage sector workers found that nearly half believe their institutions require volunteers in public-facing roles to function. As many regional museums are almost entirely volunteer run and managed, I believe that Museums in Heritage Highland is the perfect network to partner with to investigate this phenomenon. No previous research has studied women's unpaid labor in the museum and cultural heritage sector, making my proposal unique in its field. This is the current timeline my supervisors and I foresee for my research. I will officially be starting my PhD program in October, and I will be submitting my first round of ethics applications in late 2025 to early 2026. I will have my methodology confirmed and my approval from the Ethics Board, ideally in spring of 26, allowing me to begin on-site data collection at my partner institutions that summer. I am hoping to partner with approximately 3 museums in the MHH network to conduct this research. Ideal partner institutions must either be a museum or a similar heritage organization. I've been using museum as a catch-all, but really any member of this network I would be happy to work with. And you must also use volunteer or unpaid labor to maintain your day-to-day operations. You must also please be able to provide me with on-site access for data collection to begin in the summer of 2026. I'd be interested with speaking with any members of your labor force, but primarily women, given the nature of my topic. At this stage of my research process, my methodology is very flexible, as I plan to co-create my methods with the involvement of my partner institutions. I believe that this collaborative process will ensure that my research is successful whilst being minimally resource intensive for the MHH network. Also, as you've probably noticed, I'm not from around here. If there was an award for longest commute to make it today, I think I'd win, seeing as I had to cross an ocean to get here. I'm very conscious of the fact that I am not only an outsider coming into your museums, but also an American outsider coming in, so I believe that working with you to design my study will make sure that it meets the needs and expectations of your communities that I might not otherwise be able to consider. Currently, I envision a case studies approach where I visit each of my partner institutions 3 or 4 times to conduct approximately 45-minute interviews and run workshops with my participants. Ideally, my time at each institution will culminate with the participants of that case study creating an object for display or designing a workshop that they deliver for other volunteers in the MHH network that represents their involvement and their personal takeaways from participating in my project. I'm open to feedback on all aspects of my proposal, but I'm especially interested to hear your thoughts on my methodology. While my research topic is highly specified, my supervisors and I believe that it could have a far-reaching impact on the GLAM field. In partnering with me, the Museum and Heritage Highland Network would be contributing to academic understandings of museum volunteer recruitment, well-being and retention, EDIA and inclusive museological practice, and the role that invisible labor plays in cultural heritage management. MHH will also be working towards translating the United Nations 2030 Sustainable Development Goals of gender equality, decent work and economic growth, and reduced inequalities into practice. Finally, this research will raise awareness for the Museums and Heritage Highland Network as a whole. If you believe that your museum or cultural heritage organization may be a good fit for this proposed research, or if you have any questions or feedback you'd prefer to give me in writing as opposed to now in person, Please reach out to me or my supervisors, Dr. Nicole Smith and Dr. Bonnie Slade, using the emails presented here. We look forward to hearing from you. I'll give you a minute to take pictures. I'd like to now open the floor to any questions or feedback you may have. Thank you so much for having me today.
Hi, are there any questions for Ryan just now?
When I start in October, the PhD will last 3 years.
3 years?
Yes.
And that's your study period?
Yes. Yes. Of course.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm interested in who's funding your research.
I'm currently still applying for funding, so I don't have an answer for you yet. Hopefully someone will, otherwise I will be funding my own research.
Thank you very much, Ryan. We'll be keeping on communicating with Ryan as to how her funding is going and the development of the project, and can share further information with everybody.